everyone. Today we're going to make whipped cream. Alright, so today we are going to be making whipped cream and we are going to be doing it two different ways. The first way we are going to be using the KitchenAid stand mixer. The second way we are going to do it by hand. This will show you a great way on how to do it, whether if you have the equipment or if you don't, you can still make delightful whipped cream at home. So the ingredients for this recipe are 2 cups of heavy cream, 1 teaspoon of vanilla extract, and 1/4 cup of powdered sugar. When I make whipped cream, I like to use a cold bowl that's been in the freezer for at least 20 minutes before I begin. We will also be using the whisk attachment, which will help whip the whipped cream easier and get it to be more fluffy and the desired consistency that we're looking for. Also, I like to use at least 2 cups of heavy cream. When you go too low or you only use maybe like 1 cup, it kind of like the whisk can't catch it on the bottom of the bowl. So we're going to be making a slightly larger recipe today. So let's go ahead and get started. We'll attach the whisk onto the machine. We will then go ahead and pour in our heavy cream. We will be using a medium-high speed on the machine, and we will start to look for like a very, very soft peak on the whisk, which I will show you. Then at that point, we are going to add in our vanilla extract and our powdered sugar. So let's go ahead and get this whipping. As we can see, it's definitely increased in volume. However, it is very soupy still, but we do see that it is starting to form. So let's go ahead and get this back on the machine. We will then add in our powdered sugar and we will add in the vanilla extract. At this point, I would also like to increase the speed of the machine to about pretty high. This will really get that end process moving. So let's go ahead and put it on slow. Now let's increase the speed. Okay, so our whipped cream is just finished, and let me show you how we know when it's done. One way that you can tell it's almost done is when you look at the whipped cream itself, there's actually little ripples in there and you can see like little mountains forming. By looking at that, we see that the peaks are starting to form and it's losing it's not smoothing out as much anymore. So that's a good telltale sign just to be able to look at it visually. Another way that you can test to see if the whipped cream is done is if you take your whisk and you run it through, you will see that there are peaks on the whipped cream itself and it's not falling over. This would tell you that it is right where we want it to be and that this is where we want to stop. Next, we should try our whipped cream. This will tell us if we should add more sweetener or more vanilla extract based on our desired preference levels. That is definitely perfect, and that is definitely right where I would put it at. Now, you can go ahead and use whipped cream for a lot of different things. I love to use it for French toast when I make breakfast in the morning, but my favorite thing is to put it on ice cream, of course. Okay, let's go ahead and make our whipped cream now by hand. This process will require some muscle, but it's actually not too bad. If you actually do get tired, I would recommend some teamwork, and that'll get the process moving a lot easier. So let's go ahead and get some more heavy cream, vanilla extract, and powdered sugar, and we'll meet right back here. For doing whipped cream by hand, we are going to be using a very large bowl that will help contain and make sure everything is staying where we want it to be. We will also be using a hand whisk. For the ingredients, we will use 1 cup of heavy cream, half a teaspoon of vanilla extract, and 2 tablespoons of powdered sugar. Let's go ahead and begin. We'll pour the heavy cream inside the bowl, and just like how we did it in the machine, we're going to start whisking it, and we're going to get it to a very soft peak to where we can then add in our powdered sugar and our vanilla extract. When mixing by hand, I like to tilt the bowl and I like to whisk back and forth. Let's show you how that's done. Alright, so let's start whisking. You really just kind of go back and forth. Alright, so that actually seemed a lot faster to do it by hand than to use the machine. But what I'm doing is I'm scraping down and then I'm coming back across to try and incorporate as much volume and as much of the heavy cream as I possibly can. At this point, we're at pretty much the same stage where we add in the powdered sugar and the vanilla extract, so let's go ahead and add that here. We're going to continue whisking now until we reach that medium to stiff peak that we had in the previous whipped cream. So as you can see, we have that same ripple pattern that we had when we used the machine, and the whipped cream is also sticking up to the side of the bowls, and there's divots and stuff. So that tells us that we have now whipped it enough and that we're at that stiff peak point. You could also test it by taking the whisk again and making sure that it's holding its shape, and that's how we know it's done. Again, you'll want to taste your whipped cream to make sure it's at the desired sweetness level and that you have enough vanilla extract in there. As you can see, making whipped cream by hand really wasn't that difficult, and it's something that everybody can do. Whipped cream is best enjoyed when it is made fresh and for immediate use. Therefore, I'm gonna go make some waffles. See you next time.